what I found. Look what I found on the stand.
Buckyball.
I found on the stand. I like how you know the proper term for the magnetic buckyballs.
It was the original, and then they got sued because kids were eating them.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, they had to discontinue them for a while. And then also...
I mean, I love the buckyballs. I thought they were fun.
Yeah, they're back now because you can buy, like, third-party ones.
They didn't have a bunch of stuff on their stuff that said not for kids. Do not give to kids.
It said, like, ages 12 and up, so that's their own fault. Kids should be able to read.
And I bet most adults bought them for their office or things like that.
That's what I did, because I think they were originally on, like, ThinkGeek.
Dude, I bought some stuff from ThinkGeek.
I
They're
was
actually
like
one of my favorites.
Was it April Fool's Day where they always came out with the stupid stuff, and then the stuff that ended up being really popular, they would actually make it?
Yeah,
oh,
they would
so
actually hire someone to invent it and make it for them.
That was good.
Hold on. That was the... So the spray poop...
What? Spray poop?
Your reaction to that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I think it's called... it's called poopery. You never heard of poopery?
Wait, when you say spray poop, are you talking...
You spray it. It's an actual little spray bottle. You spray it.
Is it a scent or is it a
scent? It
foam?
smells like a straight up fart.
Oh, I was thinking it was like silly string, but for poop.
But no.
Like you could,
so like actual poop would come out?
Well, no, but it would look like poop. You could like, you know the little fake dog turds you can buy?
Yeah.
You could buy a can of spray poop so you could like make your own shapes and leave it in people's yards or something.
Spray poop called poopery. It just smells like a fart. That's basically what it is. But that was an April Fool's one that they did. And it's a real thing, and it's one of their most popular items.
We're going to have to order some.
What else about? I bought a bunch of Star Wars stuff from them. Like
they do a lot.
Like ice cube makers and stuff like that. But I bought buckyballs from them when they first announced them because I thought they were cool. I bought their thinking putty, the magnetic thinking putty. But I bought that from like a third party.
I think we have some of that.
Yeah, you do. Your boys do. I have the clear glass one.
What makes that thinking really putty? Cool. I can't remember why that was different. It's magnetic. Oh, that's okay, yeah.
Which means it's really hard to take off something once it's on there. And then what was the other thing I bought? I don't know. I bought a lot of good stuff from ThinkGeek.
See, I really like buckyballs. So I work at home, so I have my own like nice personal office space, and I like kind of I don't want to say collecting, but I do have like a small handful.
Yeah,
of
you get some weird desk toys.
Some small things. I got like a Rubik's
cube. Your little
cube,
fidget cube,
which I love. I have the buckyballs.
You ever solved that Rubik's cube?
No. I told
the perpetually unsolved Rubik's cube.
I told Seth if he ever solved it, I would give him $100.
Dude, if you get me $100 solved that, I would be working on that all day until it was done. I would look it up online.
I mean, I know the technique.
Is that still on the table for him?
We haven't talked about it in a while. Maybe.
I might help him. Honestly, you might give your son $100.
So I have that. I have an office shelf, and I have like a bunch of the amiibos, and I got the.
You got your paw skin.
I got a possum pelt.
That's gross.
And then a ton of instruments, but those.
We talked about the possum pelt before, because the joke was that you and your wife call each other possums. You think it's so cute, and you got a dead one right here. That's a dead possum.
It is. It is skinned.
Did we ever tell your kids? Do we ever tell the podcast about?
Wait, hold on.
Is the podcast they're my kids? Our children.
Hello, children. It is. We are recording this on Father's Day.
Here's your two dads on Father's Day.
On Father's Day, we are your fathers.
No, people already think we're gay.
Hello, Father.
No, we don't want to be called the two dads.
No, please don't call us that.
So
we'll probably
Perry,
cut this.
Who is it? Joy was talking to Perry, and she was like pointing at people, and she goes, "Who's that?" I don't remember the whole context, but basically that's what she was doing. And he pointed at me and he go, Candy, because he calls me Candy, not Kenny, which he's been doing better at.
He's getting it.
But then he goes, she points at Brandon and she goes, who's that? And he goes, Poss. Because that's what Joy calls Brandon. But Joy is the only one that calls Brandon Poss. He doesn't call him Dad, I guess. He calls you Poss.
Who?
Perry.
No, he calls
you it every once in a while.
He'll say Poss when he's talking about me in third person.
Yes. When he talks about you, he'll say Poss.
Right.
When he talks to you, he'll say Dad.
Right. So there's that.
Have your kids ever called you Daddy?
Yeah. I mean, when they're talking to me, they'll say
call
that.
you Daddy?
He just says Dad.
I feel like he's always said Dad.
Yeah. Perry will say Daddy.
Huh. You know what blows my mind? How old is Seth now?
He just turned 7.
Okay, so there was a video, the picture that came up on my memories on Facebook today of Seth 5 years ago. We were sitting in front of one of those magnetic pen board things that he likes where you
Magnadoodle.
Magnadoodle, yeah, where you swipe across the whole thing to erase it.
Yep.
They're pretty cool. They're better than Etch a Sketch.
Yes.
It was a picture of he and I playing with a Magnadoodle. I looked at that picture. I remember what we were doing. He was spelling out 3-letter words for me. He goes like Dad, D-A-D, and then I was teaching him how to spell Kenny. I was teaching him how to spell Ken, K-E-N.
Yeah.
But he was 2? He was 2 when he was spelling 3-letter words.
We have videos of him when he was 3 or 3.5, I want to say, because it was... Yeah, that sounds about right, because it was before Perry was born. He was reading, like, out of books.
Is Perry reading?
No. Perry barely knows letters.
What's Perry's deal?
Perry can count, so there's that.
I'm trying to figure out what happened. What happened between those boys? Because I feel like really what you didn't teach Seth to read, and Joy doesn't claim to have taught him to read. It
he spent a lot of time on the iPad.
It was the iPad that actually taught him to read. Seth was reading at the age of 2 because of an iPad, and he was writing. That's impressive.
The really funny part
you
about all
should be
that,
a proud daddy.
He's
also very, very, very smart.
He wasn't talking until really late. He could identify letters and he could spell, but he couldn't talk. So that's actually really funny. He one foot before the other kind of thing, and now he's doing like math and all that crazy.
I remember he loved his Detroit Tigers banner to his door, and anytime I hung out and you took your son to bed and you would carry him into his room, he would always look at it and you'd go D, just really loud. And if I ever heard him say D, then I know you're bringing him to bed. Like you'd have to tell me. I just had to hear him say that.
I forgot about that.
You forgot about the D?
Yeah, I remember that.
On his way in?
I forgot about that.
Every last time you would take him to bed, if you carried him in there and he would yell D as he saw it. So it was a fancy D.
It was. So for those listening, we are recording this on Father's Day.
All of you listen.
So we're talking about a lot of children and childlike things.
Brandon and I have a couple adult beverages because we're adults. Cheers, Brandon. Happy Father's Day to you, sir.
Or as Perry said earlier, fathers.
Fodder. He said fodder.
Happy Father's Day.
I said, Perry, tell your dad Happy Father's Day. And he goes, Daddy, Happy Father's Day.
Because we're Dutch.
Hello,
Happy Father's Day.
Why, hello, Father. How are you doing today, Father?
I'm doing little child.
I picture like Pennsylvania Dutch. Like, oh, hello, Father. Would you like a new footstool made entirely of handcrafted wood, Father?
Footstool.
Föder. No, they call it Föder.
Föder
is what they call it. Föder.
You know, there's an interesting linguistic study that, and there's a YouTube video I'm thinking of specifically, so I'll have to try to remember to post this, but there's an interesting linguistic study on the words for mother and father.
Föder. Motor and Föder.
In different languages, and how languages that do not come from a common root, 90% of the time, mother will be some sort of like ma or sound, and father will either be some sort of p or da sound across like almost all languages, except for some very, very outliers.
And is it just because those are the easier consonants?
That's one of the theories, is that like it's one of the first things kids can do.
M and D are there's like a list of like 7 letters in the English alphabet that are almost used in every language in the world. M and D is on that list.
Right. And it's one of the easiest ones to form because you can... The sound you can make without like fully vocalizing it, right? You don't have to like open your mouth even. And then the duh sound or the puh sound is just, puh. It's just one of the easy ones. So the thought is that through culture, the sound we've let children associate with mother because they're the first person, right, to really embrace the child.
Yeah.
And then that secondary sound is for the father, who is generally the secondary figure. So yeah, I'll post that. There's a really cool linguistic channel I follow, and they had a video on that, so I'll have to try to post that.
Such a nerd.
So we're talking about families, we're talking about children. So one thing we have not talked about.
Who follows linguistic channels? Let's not just bypass that.
I follow a lot of YouTube
I still
channels.
am subscribed to SpanishDict.com.
Excuse me, what?
SpanishDict.
Oh, Dict.
Dict.com. Because apparently SpanishDictionary.com was taken. I'm sorry.
Man, you get one wrong character in that URL and you're screwed.
So there's this. I legitimately follow it. There's a really good. They make really good tutorial YouTube videos on like basic Spanish language, and there's like this woman that does all the videos, and she goes, "Welcome to SpanishDick.com," because she's like she's almost like from Minnesota, and I don't mean to say it any other way because they actually say Dick, DICT, because that's their website. But the worst part is that they're the best videos on YouTube for free for learning Spanish. So you have to go to SpanishDict.com and make sure I add that T, or else it's pretty bad.
We had a pretty messed up recording schedule, and a lot of that is due to our little girl came into the world since the last recording.
Yeah.
So the last podcast was actually recorded in May, which was before our little girl came.
You can't just bypass it. Like there are some people out there that heard the other podcast and say that you want to keep the gender a secret. And what did Kenny say the entire podcast? You don't have a girl.
Oh yeah. So Kenny was right.
Okay, before you say the name, because I think I already said it actually. Before you say the name officially, I did predict not only you were going to have a girl, I predicted that you would have a girl and you would name that girl by a flower.
I don't remember that latter part. There.
No, because I remember sitting by Joy in there, and she was getting upset with me when I said that, and I was just like, what would you do? Petunia, Daisy, and I settled on Lily. I thought for sure you were going to have a daughter and you were going to name her Lily.
I don't remember you saying this.
I wish I could have it recorded because it's a real thing.
You decide,
What's your daughter's name?
Her name is Poppy.
Why do you add an H there?
Poppy.
Poppy.
Her name is Poppy. Poppy
You
Noel.
got the Jewish H. Poppy. Okay, Donald Duck. What's that?
No, her name is Poppy Noel. It is a name that we've actually had picked out for a very long time. Actually, before, I think we had settled on that as one of our potential girl names before Perry was even born. And the funny part about it
What was your girl name for Seth going to be?
I guess that fits into this. So we actually did have one. So Poppy was actually our second choice, which became our first choice. So Joy had a name. I don't know if I should share it. I guess I can share it because we're not going to use it.
You're not going to have another kid?
So
unless your future vasectomy fails. Sir, we can't detach these.
They're too strong.
They're too strong. I'm failing vasectomy. I'm sorry. I'm so
The scissors wouldn't cut. You broke our scissors.
You and your tough vast deference.
So
that's one vast deference. Sorry.
Vast as a vast. I get it.
So dumb. I'm
That's
so
great.
sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So when Joy was born, her parents had two names picked. Joy, obviously, and the other was
good choice,
which was Jayla.
Jayla?
Jayla.
Jayla.
Mm-hmm.
Jayla. Jayla.
As in like
Jayla?
Kind of like Kayla
Jayla.
with a J.
Jayla. You know what's bad about that? If there was a girl that had the last name La, I don't know. I can't think of a last name that starts with La.
LaDuke.
LaDuke? Okay, so if like
Jayla
Jennifer
LaDuke.
what would her nickname be?
J-Lo.
No, it would be Jayla.
Oh, Jayla. Oh.
Because we have Jennifer.
Lopez.
What's Jen's last name?
J-Lo.
What's Jen's last name?
Jen?
Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer Swanger.
Yeah.
And she's J Swang.
J Swang.
Jennifer Lopez is J Lo. Jennifer Lawrence is J Law. So if your last name was
be J Law. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
No, that's a nickname. J Law's a nickname. That's not a real name.
Well, so speaking of nicknames, and you know what, we'll full circle this, but that's actually one of the reasons that I pushed for our second choice. Anyway.
Wait, you won't say what the first choice was?
No, J-Lo was the first choice. So
the first choice
that's what
we
were going to do.
For your girl?
For Joy, because she didn't get named that. She had always thought, like, oh, well, I'll name my daughter then that. And...
Glad she didn't. Poppy's nicer. I like Poppy.
Yeah, so...
Is that offensive to say? No, you're not going to have another baby. I don't care. Poppy's nicer.
So we had two names settled. Well, so when Seth was born, we had one. We had Jayla. That was the girl name. After that, we had settled on Poppy as a secondary. Like, hey, if we ever had like two girls or something, it would be Jayla Joelle and Poppy Noel. So a lot of people make the first names kind of cutesy, right, to match. So we did the middle names. Anyway, like I thought about it more, and I kind of made the argument. I'm like, the issue with Jayla is that her nickname would be Jay. I don't like that. No one would ever call her Jayla. They'd always be like, hey Jay, you know. Because it's easier. It's easier to say. I didn't really like that because it's kind of a guy's name. And I'm like, don't call her Jay.
One family, I think, in our church that gets we don't really ever talk about. I like Andrew and Hannah's names that they gave all their kids.
They're very good.
Jade, Summer, Gabby. Is it Gabriella?
Yeah.
Gabby and
Giovanni.
For the boy. Giovanni for the boy. I really like their choices. Those are really... I like Jade. Jade is a name I've always kind of thought of, but honestly, I thought you had to be Asian in order to name your child Jade.
Hashtag racism.
What? Hannah's half Japanese. That's the only thing that kept me from that.
Every time I hear Jade, I always think of Mortal Kombat.
Anytime I hear Giovanni, I always think of Pokemon. Anytime I hear Summer, I think of the season.
You know what's funny?
Anytime I think of Gabriella, I always think of their daughter, Gabby. That's the only unique one to her.
Giovanni, Gio, he could pull off Giovanni from Pokemon. I think he could totally pull that look off. The suit, the tie.
When he gets older, I imagine him switching over to Giovanni.
Yeah.
He's like a professional young boy.
Yeah. This is the kid that wears like suits to church. Like he enjoys wearing a tie and he
kills it.
Pulls it off. I mean, he owns it.
He's actually, we've never talked about Gio. Gio is honestly one of my favorite kids in the whole church.
He's a pretty legit
and he's
child.
very shy, but he's one of the best kids, honestly, in the church. Like super
And you give him like
nice
give him like 10 years, he's gonna probably be the best drummer in like this side of the state. That kid's got rhythm.
Yeah, so he actually, Andrew's one of our friends, and he plays on our worship team. Also a father. So this is staying together. Joy got mad at us for always going on rabbit trails. He's a dad. We're talking about him. He brings, because his wife Hannah works in the booth most Sundays. Usually they got to bring their kids, and the other kids, I don't know what they do. They go in the kids' room or something. They like hang out at 7 a.m. and practice.
If they bring the whole family, they'll go.
Usually they go draw or something with Jade.
Either up in the gym or just hang out downstairs.
Yeah. And their kids are really self-reliant, especially because they have an older daughter, Jade. That helps out. But Gio, he will sit in the sanctuary and he will just get enwrapped in our worship practice every week. He's like our biggest fan.
Kills it.
And then, like, if it's like a really big song, like he'll be sitting in the chair, and if you go see him, I cannot help but watch him because all he does the whole time is he like air drums and things like that.
And you can tell he's on time too.
He's 7, 6.
He is a year younger than Seth, so he'd be 6.
6, yeah, that's about what I see. But he's on time. He's actually played with us on a couple outdoor things.
Oh, at the summer picnic last year.
Yeah.
He was on the cajon and he owned it.
Like
pretty good.
We didn't need to do anything. We didn't tell him anything. He just killed it. No, I'm very impressed.
No, he's going to be phenomenal just as he continues. And he's actually getting lessons from our primary drummer on the team, so we know he's going to be killer.
Yeah, Miguel. By the way, Michael said, he told me today, he said, by the way, Kenny, I want you to know, you are one of 2 people that I am okay with calling me Miguel. I just want to let you know that.
Who's the other person?
I don't know who the other person was.
I'm going to start calling Miguel and see what happens.
No.
Hola, Miguel. ¿Cómo estás?
No, you got to earn this.
Okay.
You got to earn it.
You only speak Spanish, yo.
What are you talking? I go to SpanishDick.com. What are you talking about? I know what Poppy means. It means father of fathers.
Father. Folder.
You're so dumb. Anyways, I do want to say that your daughter, Poppy Noel Martinez, she is quite lovely. And I have barely heard her cry.
She has been the
in like
child we always wanted. And
she's only a week and a half old. Keep in mind. And she's already beat the other ones.
She beat the other ones. Well, okay. So Seth, who is our oldest.
Seth was very normal as a baby, as far as I've seen for other babies.
Well, you got to know him a little later. You didn't really start hanging around until he was a little bit
He was like
older.
3 months old. 2 or 3 months old.
Because for the first 6 to 9 months, he was pretty colicky. And then he got out of that. And then he became very self-reliant, which was nice.
You and I started actually hanging out.
Yeah.
Like we were on the worship team together, but we started hanging out when he was about 2 or 3 months old. I remember because he was not at that age yet where he was laughing. You know what I mean? All I remember most fondly about Seth was that one time you and Joy were doing something, I think you were doing dishes or something. Did you have a dishwasher in your first home?
No.
Yeah, because you were both were doing dishes together. It was after dinner. So I had Seth, and this is before he was laughing, and I just held him. It's one of the first times we hung out. I held him in the living room, and I was just singing to him, and he fell asleep in my arms, and Joy was amazed. She said she's the only one to get him to do that. I will never forget that. Unless she was lying to me, in which case that B and I gonna have some words. We're gonna have some words. What happened was I had a baby and he didn't cry.
So anyway, so that's Seth. Seth was colicky, but he did become pretty self-sufficient.
For those that don't know or don't remember what colicky means, what does colicky mean?
So, the best way I've heard it described is it is the 4th trimester. And they say what it is that the baby... What it is that baby ain't ready for the real world yet.
Our new favorite thing is what happened is our favorite thing to say.
No, so they say like the kid isn't like ready for like the world yet. Like they needed one more trimester to kind of fully even out.
I feel like I'm in my 4th trimester. Just not ready for the world, Brandon. hits me too hard.
They say because like the kid wasn't ready for it, that they're very fussy, they're crying all the time because they're not adjusting to the world. Now there might be better definitions of it, but most people will say that it means like they're just very crabby for an extra 3 months.
It's a crabby baby.
I'd say Seth was colicky for probably a good 6 months easily.
My brother was colicky. My mom told me that. John.
Yeah.
John was. And then I remember we had to have hung out when he was like 2 months old then. Because I remember Joy telling me that. But I'm assuming you guys were expecting a crying, emotional
like, to
baby.
Some degree, yeah.
What was Perry like?
Perry was awful. Still is pretty bad.
I was going to say,
that doesn't change. No, Perry, oh my gosh, like just nonstop crying.
I can never hold Perry like I could hold Seth. I do remember that. Because Seth, I could actually hold him, and I'd have to work at it, but I could get him to, like, be calm with me as a baby.
Perry is and was really difficult. We thought it was just colic. It was so funny because, like, we were used to Seth, and it's like, oh, it'll get better. Like, every month we were saying, he'll get better.
all the way up to yesterday. It'll get better, Brandon. He'll stop being colicky.
We love Perry. He is...
Oh, P-Dog.
We do love Perry.
He just requires a lot of attention.
He does. He's a different kid, but...
Seth requires no attention.
Yeah.
Perry requires all of it. He's going to be a terrible middle child when Poppy gets older.
So, that's Perry. And then now we have Poppy, who is not colicky.
No, she's a little angel.
Just sleeps and only wakes up and cries if she's hungry or needs her diaper changed.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. Now, granted, she sleeps a lot during the day, so she's up quite a bit during the night, depending on the night. But it's a baby, so that'll even out in the first month or two, probably.
What happened was it was a baby.
It was a baby. So I do have another update.
I was going to say, because I thought we were talking about something else.
So in our last episode, as I mentioned earlier, was recorded in May.
Brandon's asked me, like, about once every day if I've listened to it yet. Hey, Brandon, ask me if I listened to it yet.
Hey, did you listen to the podcast
No,
yet?
I didn't listen to it yet.
Kenny never listened to ours.
I don't have time for it.
Yeah.
I haven't had time for that particular episode.
Podcasts take lots of attention. Anyway, so...
Just as much as Perry.
We recorded that in May, and then
Towards
just
the end
due
of
to life events, such as having Poppy, we got it out pretty late. It just came out a week ago.
I mean, Kenny had his own things going on.
Yeah.
Don't act like it's just you.
Kenny had things, I guess. Other things that have happened since then, because in that podcast, we were talking about camping, and we talked about your new Escape. I love your new car. It's great.
Thank you.
I
love your new car.
Dun, dun, dun. So yes, we got a new car, which is funny.
Keep going. I like doing music while you talk. Sometimes it's fun.
Which is really funny because in that episode, you were asking like, "Oh, you guys are going to get a new vehicle soon, right?"
You weren't planning on getting one.
Yeah. So what happened is that
so funny.
Because of that episode, I had edited that episode. And I was thinking like, oh, well, it's only a couple months out. I should probably start looking at least to get an idea of what we want. And I was checking our local dealer's site. They have multiple locations, and I didn't realize it, but there was a Durango, because that's what we drove before. There was a Durango 2018, and it said...
No.
It had said that it was in Ludington.
Come on.
But it wasn't. It was actually in Benzie. But we actually went out for my birthday for lunch, and we we're at Applebee's.
Yeah, happy birthday since the last podcast, right?
Yeah, I'm 30 now.
Yeah, so old.
I'm old. So we were sitting in Applebee's, and it's like, well, I mean, the dealership's like basically across the street. Let's go see if it's over there. Well, it wasn't. But what that turned into is a sales pitch, and us looking at a bunch of cars and going, oh man, like these are nice. And then we drove one that was very similar to the one we found online.
What are some of the other ones that you've seen that you thought were nice?
They were other Durangos, and then I mean, we were looking at other cars
just different
too, but
types.
yeah, different packages and stuff. So,
by the way, I've seen the Citadel.
Citadel's nice.
I like yours better than the Citadel.
Basically,
as far as the look.
Yeah, what happens is the Durango starts with the base model, then it goes up a level.
What happened was the Durango,
and then it goes up a level, and then it splits.
Yeah.
It goes to the
you
RT.
have the sport model, which is the RT.
And then you have like the luxury model, which is the Citadel.
Which that makes sense.
So we ended up going the sports model.
It basically looks like an SUV and a Charger.
Right.
Not the Challenger, the Charger.
Right. And they
put together
like,
is what it
with
looks
the
like.
Charger with the Hellcat upgrade or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Shoved together.
I like it.
The 2018 model year, they brought that down to the RT. So you can get that as an update or an upgrade. So we did. And it looks great. So
I mean, it looks exactly like your old Durango.
Yeah, sorry, we got the same
it's the
color.
same color and everything.
You can, if you really look at it, you can tell.
Before you opened the garage, the first thing you said to me was just like, just so you know, it's the exact same color as the old one.
The only difference color-wise is on our old one, we got the blackout package. So what would normally be chrome on a regular Durango?
Those wheels
out.
were nicer on your old one.
So they did
Because
black.
I like the black wheels on the old one.
They did black wheels on the old one. But I kind of like these because what they do is they take the color of the vehicle and actually put it on it. Anyway, say we got a new vehicle too, so lots of changes to the family.
Well, congratulations on your new car.
I interrupted
Forget your new baby. Your new car, congratulations. Which is your new baby. Give them the hashtags.
You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere else.
No, I could do better than that.
No. Next time. Hey, good job, Brandon. You had a baby in a car. Oh my goodness. I'm clipping so much. Look at all of that clipping. Okay, bye everybody. Bye. Bye everybody. Bye.
That was a podcast you chose to listen to. Do you think you make good choices? Whether you do, you heard Brandon and Candy talk about things that are cool. We feel enthusiastic that you can be average too.
So dumb, Brandon.